everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, November 20th. Now, on our show today, we have Tilde Research, and we introduced you to them last time. However, this time, we have Dr. Kenneth Deck and Ruth East, and they're going to talk to us about the importance of Alzheimer's, and they do have a screening that's happening today, actually, and that is at the Laguna Hills Mall, but we're going to talk to them all about what that's about. And then also, we have Made Pro with Paula and Rod Ludwin, and they tell us all about their services. All right, let's take a look at our local weather. We are looking at partly cloudy skies for the remainder of the weekend, and partly sunny skies on Monday. Saturday, we're looking at 66-54. Tomorrow, 66-54 also. But then Monday, we are warmer skies, 81-55. If you're traveling in the state of California, local beaches 70-57, Santa Barbara 65-52, San Diego 64-54, Tahoe, Mammoth, and Big Bear all with overnights in the 20s, Palm Springs 82, and Las Vegas 70. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:30, and our sunset will be at 4:46. And thank you to Lori for sending in this beautiful winery shot. Love it, showing the changes of the leaves. And if you have a photo you'd like to share with us right here on Village Television, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we return, we will have Tilde Research, so stick around.
Two in three Alzheimer's disease patients are women. If you or your loved ones are experiencing symptoms of memory loss or confusion, call our clinic today to schedule a free screening. At Tilde Research, you will work with distinguished physicians and researchers like Dr. Ken Deck, who has served the Orange County community for over 40 years. We offer patient stipends and free transportation. Call and schedule your free screening now.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dr. Kenneth Deck, who is here on behalf of Tilde Research. And then we also have with us Ruth Eastham. Well, welcome both of you. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you again, Lisa.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Now, we had you on last time and you talked a little bit about Tilde Research. And so I'm hoping that you can give us just a brief overview of what Tilde Research is.
Tilde Research basically is a company that does clinical trials for new drugs, new medicines, and we're very focused on Alzheimer's disease, both on the treatment as well as the prevention.
Okay, excellent. And Ruth, we haven't met you before, so just give us a little background of who you are and how this kind of came together.
So I work for Dr. Theodore Teacher, who's a prominent neurologist in Mission Viejo. I've been with him for 35 years.
Wow.
So over the many years that I've been with him, we see a number of patients with Alzheimer's or early onset dementia. And so it lent itself to help our patients by referring them to Tilde Research for promising new drugs that are coming.
Right.
And so I'm here as an advocate for practice as well as to help with Dr. Dex in his research.
Oh, that's great, because like you said, you probably see an awful lot of patients with dementia as well as Alzheimer's. So we'll go through how what your perspective is on that. So, Dr. Deck, tell me a little bit about Alzheimer's disease. I mean, we hear about it from a lot of different perspectives. Let's get your opinion.
Sure. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia in our population. It is very, very prevalent. The numbers continue to rise. It is basically everybody has times when they can't remember where they put their keys or, gee, why did I come into this room? Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia that kind of exceeds that. Things happen kind of on a daily basis. Like, what is this? I can't remember a name. I can't remember a phone number. And people that the families begin to notice that, gee, is Dad slipping a little bit or what's going on? And once you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, your life expectancy, unfortunately, is only 4 to 8 years.
No matter what age you're at?
No matter what you do at this point, until this point.
Right.
So it's completely a fatal disease, unfortunately. Right. And it's extremely difficult, not only for the patient, but even more difficult for the families.
Yeah.
And, a patient starts, and then all of a sudden they require people to be with them a little more often, and then they require people to be with them 24 hours, and that goes to the spouse or the family, and then they can't really live by themselves, and so then they have to live with a son or a daughter or go into a board and care or one of these facilities.
Right.
And that's really hard for the family. And I'm sure, Ruth, you've seen that with family.
It's extremely hard for family, whether it's a spouse or an adult child. It's really difficult for the family. So they oftentimes will call us and ask for help in terms of what are resources for them going forward. And I help them with some ideas for placement or home health.
Okay.
And but if there's some drugs out there that are promising, then that's when we make the referral for Tilde research, and we're very hopeful going forward at this point, and that's very promising.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Now you mentioned that it's increasing.
Yes.
So
right
do we know
now,
the factors?
5.7 million people in the United States are diagnosed with Alzheimer's now. That is expected to triple by 2045.
Okay.
A person is diagnosed with Alzheimer's every 65 seconds. I'm sure the viewers here have seen people with Alzheimer's disease, know somebody, just because it's more common as you age. About 1 to 2% of people with Alzheimer's are under the age of 60. Wow. But most are elderly. And, 5,000 deaths every year are due to Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
And that's a major problem.
It is. It is. Now, do they have any idea what's causing this?
It's for the exact reason what causes it. It's somewhat based upon age, obviously. You also can have a strong family history, which predisposes you to this. There is a gene called APOE4, which predisposes you to this. But more, it's just aging. There's a compound called amyloid. Amyloid is a compound that's deposited in a particular part of the brain that deals with memory.
Okay.
And you can see that amyloid on a PET scan. And sometimes you'll see amyloid 10 to 20 years before the patient even has symptoms. And so, but once the amyloid begins to deposit and progresses, it continues. We don't have any way to stop it right now.
Right.
And as it progresses, you lose more and more of your cognitive function.
Okay.
And to the point where you have so much amyloid, you don't remember who you are, where you are, anything like that.
Right.
But it's all based upon that amyloid.
Okay. Now, is that something that your office evaluates for the patients?
Yes, we do see a number of patients with early onset dementia or progressive dementia or early Alzheimer's or advancing Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And sometimes the early signs would be word finding difficulty, or they're forgetting names of family members, that type of thing. So, and at that point, our doctors do a series of tests in the office, and one of them is mini mental status exam, where there's a number calculated in their answer response, and based on that calculation, if they fall between a certain category, it usually is assigned for dementia or Alzheimer's dementia.
And is that the point that you refer people to Tilde research?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so when you get that phone call from either the patient that was referred or maybe Ruth herself would be calling you, what do you do?
Unfortunately, right now, today, all the drugs out there, and probably Ruth can attest to this, like Aricept, for example, they do nothing. And they kind of control the anxiety a little bit sometimes associated with it, but they don't really treat the underlying disease process.
Okay.
And until recently, we've not had something that actually does that. And Lilly now has a drug called donanemab, which it's what's called not getting too scientific here, it's called a monoclonal antibody. And that monoclonal antibody binds actually to the amyloid.
Okay.
And the body recognizes that antibody as being foreign. And so it attacks the antibody.
Okay.
To get rid of it. As it attacks the antibody, it gets rid of the amyloid also. And so if you follow people who are on this drug with PET scan, they have less and less amyloid, and their cognitive function improves.
Wow.
So this is the first drug actually to actually treat the disease and hope to get actual improvement from the disease. So I'm excited about it. And the FDA basically has labeled this a breakthrough drug.
Okay.
Because they know nothing they have really works, and this is so kind of a one-of-a-kind thing at this point. And to find a way to cure, or even more importantly, prevent, we're doing trials on patients who have amyloid but maybe don't have the symptoms yet.
Oh.
But they can enter a trial and then take the drug to prevent further deposition of the amyloid and prevent the development of, therefore, Alzheimer's disease.
Okay, and then, so let's just say someone had the amyloid and they wanted to use that particular drug. Is that something that their doctors can prescribe for them?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
It's only done at this point, it's not completely approved by the FDA. There is a drug called Biogen, made by Biogen, that is approved. Unfortunately, it's not covered by any insurance or anything else. It costs a significant amount of money.
Okay.
And even then, you have to be in a clinical trial.
I see.
So until the FDA completely approves it, the only way to get it is to be in a clinical trial.
Okay.
The benefits of the trial is that, number one, you get the PET scan looking for amyloid at no cost to you. You get the genetic testing at no cost to you. And then when you get those results back, then we sit down and discuss with them, okay, here's your option. I mean, you can enroll in the trial and potentially get the medication, or, you know, if you don't feel you have symptoms, we'll wait, and, you know, but once you have amyloid, you'll always get Alzheimer's. That's very few things in medicine are always, but that isn't always.
Okay. So now if people do find that they have all of the things that you've described, what do they need to do next?
The easiest way I would think would be to call, I mean, you can certainly call your doctor and say, I'm concerned about this. Can I get this amyloid scan? Can I get this gene? And they can usually prescribe it or order it. The problem with, once again, is that most insurances don't cover it.
The test
itself. Isn't that true?
The test itself.
The PET scan and the amyloid.
And the PET scan is like $5,000.
Oh, heavens.
5,000 to 8,000. Yeah, it's very expensive.
No.
So,
or, as I said, you can enter a clinical trial.
Which is what you guys are doing now.
Which we are doing now. And you get all that, and the sponsor pays for all of it.
I see.
And so there's no out-of-pocket expenses.
Okay.
If you get the scans and the results and you elect not to enter the trial, that's fine. That's okay. But you've at least gotten your information.
Okay. So what are some of the parameters for an individual to participate with your clinical trial?
Basically, they have to be over the age of 50, which is not uncommon. They don't really even necessarily have to have symptoms. They are given a very, very simple test to see if they have any memory issues at all, which I'm not sure I would pass the test either, but and then if they have that, then they're offered the scans and the genetic testing and everything else.
Okay.
If you have the gene, they offer genetic counseling to the family. So it's you know, because the FDA is pushing this, it's a really good idea.
Okay. And how long is the study for?
The study is initially for 1.5 years.
Okay.
And like we talked about last time, there is a placebo group in this study. So half the people get it, half the people do not. At the end of the 1.5 years, if they see what they believe they'll see is a reduction in amyloid and an improvement in cognitive function, they then will go to the placebo group and say, hey, we're going to give you this drug.
Oh, okay.
At no charge, because and they'll go to the FDA and they'll get hopefully approval for that.
That's awesome. Well, this must be good news for you, Ruth.
It is.
Especially seeing as many people as you've been seeing over the years.
And the bottom age is 50, but the upper age limit is 85. So there's a huge population there that may benefit from this going forward. So we're very excited about it.
That is awesome.
It's been a long time since we've had something in the pipeline that looks very, very positive to helping people.
Okay, that's great. And you know, we talk to Alzheimer's OC a lot, and they come in, and they're a great organization. And
absolutely.
They're wonderful.
I'm assuming you work with them as well.
Yes, we do. We work with them. They've referred patients to us in the past.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, anything I've missed? Anything that I've missed?
No, I think it's, I specifically wanted Ruth here because she brings a different perspective. She's dealt with the families. You know, we as doctors don't always deal with the families. We only deal with the patient. And, you know, I think I told you last time my mother-in-law had this, and so I have my own personal reasons for wanting to do this.
Right.
But it's, I would love for us to find something
Yeah.
that can reverse this disease process.
That would be wonderful. That would be great. Well, thank you so much for
Oh,
being with us
pleasure.
today, both of you.
Thank you.
For
Thanks
sure.
having
Thank
us.
you for having us again, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Take care.
And remember, if you want more information about what we have just discussed or to participate in the study, you can call Tilde Research on the number on our screen. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Paula and Ron Ledwin, who are here on behalf of MaidPro of South Orange County. Well, welcome both of you. How are you today?
Good, Lisa. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Well, very nice to have you on. Now, I think some of us are familiar with MaidPro. They have been around for a while. Can you tell me a little bit about the service and what the general overview is?
Sure. You want me to start? Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about ourselves. We've been in the cleaning business for about 7 years. MaidPro is part of a large franchise. There's over 250 locations. But Paul and I, we're husband and wife. We own the local branch here in South Orange County. We live here in South Orange County. We have 2 beautiful kids. We're part of the neighborhood. In fact, we were both born and raised here in Southern California, which is kind of rare to find. And I actually grew up in Orange County. I mean, I'm so familiar with this area that I remember when it was called Leisure World back in the day.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. And what made you guys get into this business? What did you used to do?
Oh, that's a good question. So for us, we were looking for help cleaning our own home. And what we found was that we couldn't find anyone that was reliable or consistent, or we really didn't know who was coming into our home. So we kind of thought that was an issue. We asked around with other of our friends, and they were having the same issue. So we decided to look into house cleaning. So that's what we did 7 years ago, and this is where we're at now.
Yeah, and it's interesting to expand on that because we were struggling. You know, we couldn't find a reliable cleaner. We went through independents, through companies similar to ours, and we just couldn't find one that was the right fit. At that time, Paula was a social worker. She'd been doing it for many years, and I was in the entertainment industry. And then we just thought, you know what, let's get into the cleaning business. Paula runs the day-to-day of the operations. I sit there and smile and wave, but she is the main force behind MaidPro here in South Orange County. And we just decided to jump in and see how it's going. And it's been great for us.
That's great. And, you know, I do want to ask, because there's so many people that are out there, regardless of what the business is, that are having trouble in terms of getting employees and, you know, not necessarily retaining them, but just getting the employees. What are some things that you guys have done to help retain the current people that you have?
That's a good question. So like everyone else, we are experiencing the same thing, but the pros that we call them pros here in MaidPro. What we do is we try to make our environment as healthy, as relaxing as possible. We see our little, we call it a little family. And then we just, you know, we respect each other, we listen to each other, we meet almost every day. We also incentivize them, you know, give them bonuses when, you know, and things like that. The pros that I have now, they've been with us for years. We haven't seen any turnover there, but getting new ones is where we're struggling. But the ones that have been with us from the beginning are still with us. So
that's really good, because, you know, it seems that it's been, you know, very challenging for many businesses right now. And I'm glad that you're able to retain the people you have, because obviously you can utilize them as need be. I suppose some of the questions that many of our viewers might have is, you know, about those particular folks that you have working for you. Tell me a little bit about them. Do they have a lot of experience? Are they bonded? How does that work?
Sure. So the pros that we do have, they have a lot of experience. They have at least 4 or 5 years experience. A lot of them know Laguna Woods Village. We have a couple customers there. Um, Insured and bonded, yes. What that means is if there ever is something that breaks or what else?
Everything, yeah. We're licensed, insured, and bonded, so we got it all covered. And like Paula says, our pros have years of experience, and not only experience. I think one of the things that we've realized since we've been in business is they have to love to clean, because the experience is there and you can actually teach it, but the passion and to love to want to clean is something you can't teach. And so Paula does the interview and she catches on right off the bat if someone loves to clean and they have that passion for doing it. And so that's important. We extensively train I remember when we first started the business, she flew out to Boston for I think it was about a week. Yeah. And there was like a cleaning academy. We have a chief cleaning officer. That's all she does. It's pretty wild. And so there's extensive training, and with our employees, our pros, they watch hours of videos before we even send them out on the field. And we're constantly training them on new techniques. I mean, it's cleaning, which has been around hundreds of years, but there's still new techniques, new products to use. And so, it's a continuous training process. As we said, we are licensed, insured, and bonded. We do extensive background checks before we hire anybody, because we know at the end of the day, just like us at the beginning, you're letting a stranger into your home.
Right.
And we want to make that as easy as possible. So we look at their background, we call references to make sure they're okay. And then they stay with us training for a while before we let them out.
Okay, good. Now, excuse me. Now, obviously, that our community is a senior community, and the biggest concern right now are people who are vaccinated, and the majority of our folks here are vaccinated. What is your stand on the people that you have with you?
From the beginning, even during the pandemic, we were really, what's the word? Proactive in making sure that we could continue servicing that population and all our other customers. So we were, I want to say we were one of the first to get vaccinated. All of my pros are vaccinated. We always had PPE, which is masks, gloves, and even shoe covers. Just, people aren't funny what kind of shoes you go into their home. Yeah. So we're always covered. And then we just make sure if we go into a home and we see one of the customers being kind of weary about it, we tell them we're vaccinated. You don't have any problems. And then sometimes it also goes twofold where, I call them. I've gotten a lot of calls, customers saying, I've been exposed, I need to reschedule. And it goes back, maybe my pro, she might be feeling ill. So then we kind of do that. We have a lot of communication so that there's no worry in that end.
And if the pros do show up and they've got a sniffle or anything like that, and they just look a little sick, we'll send them home. I mean, we pay them. So it's not that they're like, oh my God, no, I have to go to work because I need to make my money today. Go home, rest, because it's just going to make it worse, and we'll pay you for your time home. So it's
okay. So you run it like a business, and these folks are your employees. So that's definitely different than if you were just to get somebody off the street to be cleaning, which is good to know because, well, first of all, you have the safety behind the people, as well as obviously the vaccinations and then also the sickness. So that's very smart. So in closing, tell me how it would work. Like if I was to call up, how do we go ahead and schedule someone?
Yeah, it's so simple. It's great. So you can go online or you can go to you can call us directly. We have a whole customer service team that's there. We get to know you. We ask you some questions about your home. Is there specific things you want clean? Like, is there, focus on this and not on that? And then we develop a customized plan to your home. The big key thing that I like about ourselves that separates us from others is we don't have a contract. So, no matter if you come with us or if you go with somebody else, you never really want to sign a contract. I mean, sometimes you're offered a better deal to sign on this dotted line and you're locked in. We don't do that. So you can try us out one time. We're sure you're going to love us and you'll be back. But so there's no contract. You call us. We give you a free estimate, and hopefully you like it. And we're set up where you can do what do we got? One-time cleans. We do move-out cleans, bi-weekly, monthly.
Good.
So you can do whatever clean you want. But the process is really, really simple. And once you book it, we just, we try to get to know you. I mean, one of the fun things about us that Paula tries to do is we try to continuously send the same pro out to you, which is important. Because that way we get to know what you like. Lisa, like for example, you may like your towels folded a certain way or the cups put in a certain place. Like it drives you crazy if all of a sudden you open and everything's in a different place. But we get to know who the customer is by sending the same employee. We try to send the same one.
Okay.
That way you get to see a familiar face. You're comfortable with that person and they get to know you. They show up wearing uniforms, professional looking. So yeah, the whole process from start to finish is really easy. And if you ever have an issue, I mean, our office is right there. We're about, half a mile away from one of the gates.
Okay.
So we're really close. We have an office there. And you don't have to be home. Some people like being home, but I would say, well, like you were mentioning earlier, now most people are home now, but if you want to leave us the key once you get to know us, I would say, what percentage do you think of people are?
80%. We have home keys. We have a lockbox. They're locked up. They're not marked. They're just numbered. And then we, take it back, lock it up. So
Okay.
Go out and enjoy the village. Go enjoy Laguna Hills. Whatever you want to do. We can go, and you come home, you open the door, it's going to smell so beautiful.
And it smells nice. That's always a very nice feeling. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys sharing the information with us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully next time you come back, we'll have a cleaning tip.
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this.
Picking someone to clean your house is a big decision. After all, they'll be inside your house and touching virtually everything you own. Sadly, though, not all cleaning professionals are actually real pros. Like this person you found online who uses the same sponge in the kitchen they use in the bathroom. If you're looking for a local family-owned business with amazing customer service, contact MaidPro for a free estimate. MaidPro, when you're ready for a real pro.
Welcome back. We have our Saturday movie for today, and it is called Ghosts of Mississippi. You can see that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that is brought to you by Advanced Ear Care. All right, let's take a look at our weather before we head out to enjoy the rest of our weekend. We are looking at nice temperatures, kind of fairly cloudy skies, 66-54 today, tomorrow 66-54. Then on Monday it warms up to 81-55. If you're traveling in California, take a look at these numbers. They look pretty good here at the beaches, but then when you get to the mountains, it's looking chilly overnight in the 20s. Have a great day in the village. We will see you again right here on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.